So within that first, 6 months, I'm getting the awards as being, a business owner. I'm building this business. But shortly after, I got $17,000 worth of chargebacks. 17.
When?
Oh man, I want to say about 5 months. So this was probably around about August. And this came from the agents who I brought on. Commission hunger, commission breath, not really cared about the clients. They're not making those premiums, so they're lapsing. So guess what? Those chargebacks rolled up to me. And I didn't know that. And my wife at the time, she was kind of upset. So was I, just be honest, because I didn't expect to join a business and to get debt.
Yeah.
But once I talked to her, I said, well, this is the thing. Do we want to be a business owner or we're going to be employees?
Hey, welcome back to the CA Power Players Podcast. I'm your host, Cody Askins. We got a special guest today joining us for the Power Players Podcast, Mr. John Clayton. John, how you feeling, sir?
I'm doing well, Cody. Thanks for having me.
Dude, thanks for being on here, buddy. So for those, like, you've got a great story. You've accomplished a lot. You've built a life of significance, and it just keeps getting better. And you're helping people around the industry and outside the industry come to the industry and find success. For those that don't know you, dude, where are you from? What have you accomplished? Where did you you probably weren't always selling insurance? Walk us through that.
Man, I'm rich from Mississippi. If you cannot tell.
Let's go.
But now I live in Memphis, Tennessee.
Cool.
And like every kid, no one wanted to grow up and be an insurance agent. Not that right? No, I don't think no one want to do that. But it just kind of fit in my lap. I came from retail. So ever since
what type of retail?
Yeah, start out in just clothing, macrays. It became Belk. And then from there, I did a little menswear, S&K menswear before I went out of business. And then my last stint was with AT&T. I did about 9 years with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can actually make decent money with AT&T too, from what I've heard.
Yeah, especially when I first started going to the cellular side of the business. It was great. It was great. Yeah. Cell phones, the minutes, the text messages, you could really make a nice income. And I did that for 9 years with my family. I'm very thankful for what AT&T did for us. So, yeah.
What was the like what was your best year income wise at AT&T before you got into insurance? My
best year was $65,000, and that's before taxes. Before tax. So I always look good on paper until you start getting your deposits. So around about $4,000 a month, so to speak. Yeah.
It goes quick, man. It
does.
Yeah.
It does.
What's been your top year of insurance income?
Wow. So my top year, I would say, would have been back in 2021, where we did about $260,000. We cleared that. And then last year, we did right over $230,000. Yeah. So going from $65,000 a year to that. It's not a million, but I love more than 65.
Dude, it's a nice 4x increase, How long have you been in insurance?
It just made 5 years on February.
Wow. Yep. Just hit 5. Congratulations on your 5-year anniversary.
Thank you.
That's incredible. And what got your attention? How did you hear about insurance? How did you end up in it?
Wow, which is a crazy story. So when I was working at AT&T, this individual came in, right? And you could tell he was already irritated. So as a manager, we don't get surveys. As a rep, every time you deal with a customer, they're going to get a survey to kind of rate them. But as a manager, you don't get those surveys. So I saw he was already disgruntled. So I said, let me help him. So I started helping him, I started trying to uncover his needs. And he was just looking for a cell phone. He bought online for whatever reason. He thought we didn't have it, which we did. So now you're trying to talk to him. Like, so who you buying this phone for? For your wife? And he says, no, I'm buying it for my daughter. But cool. And I'm checking his profile with AT&T and got this discount. It's commercial real estate. So I said, hey, man, I'm looking for something new. Do they pay well to commercial real estate? He said, no, we don't get paid no money. I said, okay, well, maybe you just don't want to tell me. Right. So I just started back helping him. And then as I spoke with him, I'm like, so how old's your daughter? He's like, which one? I said, okay, the one you buying this phone for. He said, wait, she's 9, but I have 5 kids. I said, okay, cool. I said, so what do your wife do for a living? Like, she doesn't work. So now I say, wait a minute, stop, wait a minute. You're trying to tell me they don't pay in commercial real estate and you have 5 kids and a wife and your wife doesn't work. I only have 1 child and it takes me and my wife both incomes to make it. And like, nah, listen, I don't do commercial real estate no more. They're just on my profile. So don't change it because I get a discount. But I do life insurance. I work for Aflac. I'm like, whatever. Like, my life is not that bad, right?
Yeah.
And that was back in 2016. I never did anything with it. I still working at AT&T. I still kept on looking for a new opportunity. Then it rolled back again to me in 2018. Insurance. So I said, you know what? This is the second time I said opportunity done not twice.
Yeah.
I got to look into it. And that's how I got into life insurance, you know.
Amazing. February of 2018.
February 2018.
Dude, I love it. And did you start in life, on the life side?
Started in life, quit my job and went, full throttle.
Seriously?
Seriously.
Dude, so most agents struggle to go like cold turkey, full throttle, and just like quit their job and go full time, Was there a period where you were making some money part-time or what did that look like?
Nah, which was a funny story. So this would have been going to January 2018. I had 5 weeks vacation. So I told AT&T, hey, then I'm going to take my vacation. They approved the 5 weeks. And I was going to, take off and just start my insurance business. Once they understood I was not coming back, because I did tell them, I had to give my 30-day notice. They took my vacation. Is that policy? So all that money that I was banking on to help fund my insurance business went away.
My gosh.
Yeah. So at that point, it just feast the famine. I just believed in myself.
Do you think that helped or hurt you? Did it make you speed up the process and have a little more urgency and like kick you in the butt, or was it like, no, I just really needed the money?
It meant both. I did need the money. So it put the fear in me. Like I said, I did have a wife. I have a child. I have a mortgage. All right. No one expects their husband quit their job and just sit around and do nothing. So it put that fire that I got to make this work. I got to do it. But, I quit and things didn't go well. I had to go back.
You went back to AT&T?
I went back to AT&T.
Wow. Okay. What month did you go back?
That would have been back in October.
Okay. So you were out of there for 7-8 months.
Right.
7-8 months later. So that was in October of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And what did they think? What did it feel like to go back, like to go be an entrepreneur for 6, 7, 8 months, whatever, and then have to submit yourself back to AT&T and like go back? Like how talk through the ego and embarrassment piece of that.
Absolutely. When you talk about submit, humbling the ego to go back, it was challenging. One, because I was super excited, so I'm telling everybody at AT&T, all my employees, my co-workers, hey, I'd have found something here. People need this. It's a great opportunity. Come, we can help. And I just went. All right. Yep. So everybody thinking, hey, John, if you leave for this great opportunity, this great job, 8 months later, I got to come back. All right. And the reason I had to go back because, as any insurance agent beginning, we're excited, gun ho. I was working the production side as well, because I got to take care of my family. Now, I also was building also. Now, I was now attracting the right people. So within that first, 6 months, I'm getting the awards as being, a business owner. I'm building this business. I received a couple at our conference. But shortly after, I got $17,000 worth of chargebacks. 17.
When?
Oh, man, I want to say about 5 months. So this was probably around about August of 2018. And this came from the agents who I brought on. Commission hungry, commission breath, not really cared about the clients. They're not making those premiums, so they're lapsing. So guess what? Those chargebacks rolled up to me. And I didn't know that. And my wife at the time, she was kind of upset. So was I, just to be honest, because I didn't expect to join a business and to get debt.
Yeah.
But once I talked to her, I said, well, this is the thing. Do we want to be a business owner or we're going to be employees? Because if we had our own trucking company and we own that freight and our driver has an accident, are they going to come after the driver or the owner of the company? They're going to always come after the owner. So I said, this is just one of those things now. We want to be a business owner. We got to take the good and the bad. So they're just the bad part. So what I got to do, I got to go back to AT&T. I got to work AT&T full time. And I also work my insurance industry full time. So that's the difference. When people go back to work, they kind of work full time and then they kind of let their business become like a side hustle.
True.
For me, I'm like, nah, I cannot continue to do this for another 20, 30 years working for somebody. Yeah. So I had to go back. People looking at me say, hey, what happened to that good old job you had, job? You know, the big opportunity. Now what's up? Hey, this is part of being a business owner. You got to take the good and bad, you know?
Gosh.
And I gave myself a year. I said, I'm going to be out there within a year. So I just put me a strategic plan in place, and I was out there within 9 months. I went back. So since 2019, never went back.
Dude, I love it. And he ain't ever going back now, right? Come on.
Nah, they can't afford me now.
That's right. He's going back to buy the place. That's about it. You know?
Absolutely.
Right? There you go. What changed from the first stint to your second stint where you failed the first time, you went back, you kept working it, but you didn't, you know what I mean? You had to go back. Then you were full-time and also full-time, but seemed to have more success the second time while you were also full-time somewhere else. What did you do different?
One, I really dove into personal development. They kept preaching the only difference between a CEO and an employee is the way they think, their behavior. So I say, you know what? If I want to start making 6 or 7 figures, I got to start thinking and behaving like these individuals. So I dove into personal development. I started, making, my dreams become a reality. Started with visualization. I started journaling.
When you were journaling, what were you journaling about?
Great question. So first, just reflection. What went well, what didn't go well, what can I fix? But also the emotions behind it. So when I didn't accomplish my goals, how did that make me feel?
Yeah.
Really tapping into those emotions. Because it's not just write things down. Today didn't go the way I anticipated. Okay. But how did it make you feel? Because you got to tap into those emotions to change the behavior. All right.
Right.
If I don't like those results, I don't like the way I'm feeling, I got to do something different. So that's why I used to journal. How does it make me feel? If I do well, what type of results would I get? How would that make me feel? How would my wife feel? How would my 2 kids feel? I got 3 now.
Let's go.
But just talking about that, what are some of the goals? And then those goals, what does it take to accomplish those goals? Because a lot of people say, I want to make $1 million. I want to make 6 figures. But what does it take to make that? Okay, if to make $1 million was easy, everybody be a millionaire. Right? You hear that so much. So I had to figure out what is it I want, and 2, I'm willing to go through that and get it. And that was the difference.
Yeah. That's awesome. And when you started reading more, what were you reading? What was some of your favorite books that have helped your career?
Oh man, so one of my diehard books I love is The Slight Edge by Joel Esson. Can I just tell you
a slight edge?
The Slight Edge.
The Slight Edge, got it.
So just say give yourself a competitive advantage. So I like that one. The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. One of my favorite books because that just taught me that success is a journey, but that journey starts today. It starts today. Yeah. So whatever you do today is going to compound, good or bad. So you're doing something negative today, you're going to compound 5 or 6 years later. So my success that I have today, it just compounded from 2018. That book really brought that in for me. And I give you 2 more because these books I'll tell a lot of my agents when they come in. The third one is Go for No.
Yeah.
And this industry, we know this is a numbers game. All right.
True.
I mean, you can't be afraid of the word no. Sometimes the word no scare people. Ooh, oh my goodness. Like, just no. Just no. And it's been the same way through, when I used to manage McRae's. We always ask people about, hey, getting these department credit cards because we had a goal. Most employees will not do that because they're afraid of the word no. When I went to AT&T, it was the same thing. Hey, we got to ask people about DirecTV. And most people would say no. And the employees was afraid. And I tell everybody, you got to go through those no's to get the yes. And the people who's not afraid, they get what they want. So go for no. And then the last one I would tell people is Take the Stairs. That's a book.
Stairs. Yeah.
Take the Stairs by Rory Vaden. Out of Nashville. And he just talks about, let's not take the escalator approach to success. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You got to take the stairs, which means that it's going to be challenging, but it's not impossible. And that's what I like. See, life is challenging, but if I know something is possible, I have a chance.
Yeah.
If it's impossible, I do not have a chance. So those books I was reading, that I decided to read more, it let me know that I do have a chance. Success is possible. It's just going to take a while. It's a journey. You got to be willing to go through that.
Yes.
Yep.
Those are so good. Thank you for sharing those. In 2018, you were in insurance for about 10, 11 months total because you were still in insurance even when you went back to AT&T. How much did you make? You remember how much insurance money you made in 2018?
I sure do, because I look at my numbers all the time. So my first year on my own personal production, I think I issued about 30,000. So it was not that great. And I think my agency that first year we issued about 117,000. I'm sorry, 175,000 that we issued for that year. So when I tell you it was not a straight round to the top, it was challenging. All right.
No doubt. No doubt. And that's most people's stories. I appreciate you being vulnerable and honest about that. In 19, what did you do?
Great question. So in 19, I was still with AT&T, so I was still part-time with Symmetry. And I think I issued about 58,000 on my own personal pen. So it was not that great. But my agency at that time was still developing. And we issued, I want to say around about 379,000. So my agency is getting better, and I just got a little better. All right.
Yeah. That's right. And then 2020.
Awesome. So 2020, I went back full time. So that year on my own personal pen, now I was able to issue right at 100,000. So it was 101,000, which gave me the proof I needed that I could make 6 figures on my own pen. The agency that year, we did over $500,000.
That's awesome. Yeah. And it took and then in 2021, I think you mentioned you were at 260-ish or whatever,
Yeah, that's when we had we just catapult at that point,
So that was the fourth year.
The fourth year.
And then you and the agency just really took off in 2021. What were those numbers? Because for you and the agency, I think you gave me yours, but
yeah. So with I still did roughly around about 90,000 that I issued. But the agency, we did over 700,000 that year.
What was different? Was it just that you just kept going and things just got better? Was there something you remember that really made a big difference from year 3 to 4? Because you had a big income increase for sure.
Yeah. So the biggest thing was, one, I had time again. Once I left AT&T, I could fully devote my hours back into my business. 2, man, I was just in the streets back then. Things became virtual back in 2021. So, I used to drive 2 hours back in the day to go to people's homes. Now it's just virtual, whether it's going to be over the phone or Zoom, or if you still want to go inside the home, you could do that. It just opened up that window. So when I used to drive 2 hours, guess what? Those 2 hours I could dial. When people no-show me, guess what? I could dial because I'm here. I didn't have that opportunity, 2 years prior. So I guess with COVID, it just kind of it changed my business. All right.
Yeah.
And then too, just thought, we couldn't really travel as much. But I bought an office here in Memphis. So then I just started doing, meetings in my office, started developing people a little bit more so, holding their hands, especially if they were local. So just being more engaging with people because I knew they had a dream like I had a dream. And one thing I needed back then was mentorship. So I had to become more available to mentor people to help them accomplish their dreams. So once I became engaged, they became engaged, the results just kind of followed.
That's awesome. That's really good feedback. There's a lot of agents, man, that are doing 30, 58 grand, under 100, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they're trying to take that next step. What advice would you give based on what you went through and what you have learned from helping other agents?
Yeah, so I would say the first thing, don't quit. Don't quit. You got to have a strong why. You got to focus on that light at the end of that tunnel. Okay, it can get very dark, not just in insurance, just in any business you're trying to establish. If you want a real business and not a side hustle, it's gonna be ups and downs. You gotta accept the downs with the ups. So don't quit. Second thing, and I think you said in the beginning, that ego. All right, what was it like to go back to AT&T with the ego and all that stuff? If you want to become successful, the ego gas to be in the back pocket or out the window or non-existence. You have to ask people, hey, how do you do that? I don't know. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. So ask. I'm always asking people, trying to pit their brains. And I actually got that from Kobe Bryant, when he used to play in the NBA, trying to create that Mamba mentality. That's he just called people throughout the night. It could be 10 o'clock at night. It could be 2 a.m. But he's like, hey, I'm curious. Help. Can you help me? So I kind of took that approach. Third, I would tell people, you have to go to seminars and conferences. You just have to. And for me, I was surrounded by people who was making $60,000 a year. So guess what? My life gonna be around by $60,000 a year. But I want to get around people who's making, 6 figures and 7 figures.
That's good.
So I had to get around those people. I had to pay. And I invested in me. All right. Yeah. I had to get there. So every national conference that Symmetry had, even outside of Symmetry, just different things they had here in Memphis in the community. I'm always doing events with local schools. I'm trying to build, my business. So we're out here. So I would tell people, you got to be the face of your organization, the face of your business. Get out there. Only you can attract who you're looking for.
True.
And then the fourth thing I would tell people is lead by example. We don't attract what we want or who we want. Yes. We attract who we are. I had to learn that. I want to attract people who's doing, $100,000 a year that own pen. As you saw, I did $30,000 that first year. It's kind of hard to attract people like that if I'm not that person. So I tell people, become who you want to attract. So develop. We can all change. You're not stuck with yourself. You're just stuck with yourself right now. You can always change who you are. So that's what I would tell people. That's
good, man. And if someone's out there and they're like, man, I'm needing a hand, I'm needing some help. If they wanted to reach out and talk to you, learn from you, man, how could they do that? Where should we send them?
Oh man, you can send them, I got 2 different email addresses, so they go mr.johnclayton81@gmail.com. You got excuse me, somebody's coming here delivering a package.
You're good, man. Did you say mr.johnclayton81?
Yeah, at gmail.com.
At Gmail, got it.
So mr.johnclayton81@gmail.com.
Perfect.
If they want to look at the website, they can go to theclaytonagency.com and take it right to my website. Or they can email me at johnclayton@theclaytonagency.com. So I got different ways that can reach me.
Cool, man.
I'm on social media as well. I'm John Clayton on Facebook, or you can find me the Clayton Agency on Facebook. So you can find me those different locations.
I love it. Well, dude, thank you for sharing your story, those 4 tips to help agents get over the hump and start making some money. You've been through a lot. I appreciate you being vulnerable and transparent, and it's been a blessing having you on the podcast today, buddy. Appreciate you.
Well, man, it's a blessing that y'all had, man. One thing I would tell people, because like I say, being a country boy from Mississippi, right? I never thought I could be making six figures, right? So if you're in that same position, if you're seeing people around you, and you know it's out there, I'm telling you, you could do it too. Now, it's not going to be easy, but it's possible. If you're willing to work and you're willing to change, you can make that happen. So I thank Sims for the opportunity. And I also thank you, Cody. Partnerships like this, really means a lot to the development. And I see what you're doing, and you're doing some good things.
Thanks, man. You're awesome. I appreciate you. So impressive. Guys, thanks for listening and hanging out. Reach out to John. He can help you. Mr. John Clayton. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Awesome. And also, one last thing. They want to reach me, too, or in my phone. I do have my number as well, which will be 901-494-9291. Just in case, I don't ask, I'm busy, leave a voicemail. You can shoot me a text message. I will get back to you, or Patricia, which is my wife, also the owner of the business. Either one of us will get back in contact with you.
Boom. Thank you for providing that.
All right, buddy.
You the man. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me, Cody. It was a pleasure, buddy.
You got it, brother. Appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for listening to Power Players Podcast, and we will see you on the next episode. Adios.
Hey, if you enjoyed this, I got another one you're going to love. It's right there. Click on it. See you in there.
Welcome back to How to Sell Life Insurance. This is going to be a video, like a recap video, and also some new training that I haven't released before on how to sell more life insurance. I did a video called How to Sell Life Insurance - Amazing. It looks like it was January